you for joining us tonight and waiting and being patient as we work through some challenges. And I guess tonight I'm really excited to present to you what I would like to say is the first of a series of training calls that we want to support you with. And as you've seen the calendar, every fortnight, the concept being to give you, I'll provide you with some tools, what I call tools, build a set of skills that's going to support you as you continue to grow your business platform. So we've chosen some topics, and tonight I'm really excited because it's so relevant in what we're facing today more than ever. But I think it's important to edify Sandy, who is going to do the training tonight. And most of you know Sandy, but Sandy, I think, if I may say so, has more than 30 years experience, and she still looks absolutely young and beautiful, Sandy. So you've had experience with some of the largest and most successful direct selling companies, and brings a unique 360-degree view from both sides of the world, from both sides of the desk as well. So now really consults to a number of direct selling companies, including Manatech Australasia, I beg your pardon, sharing her experience underpinned by her passion for helping people to create financial independence. So I'm excited to be able to present to you Sandy Cantin. So over to you, Sandy. The floor is yours.
Oh, Jenny, thank you so much. And thank you all for coming on tonight and, being understanding of the technical difficulties. And I hope you've had a few of your own in the last, week or so as you've tried to do more and more online. So I'm sure you've all noticed that the world has really changed. And that's why I'm so excited about doing this call with you. Jenny reached out and asked me, and she said, this is where I think we need to start, is with, conscious, compassionate conversations. I love that. So how many of you have felt hesitant to reach out to people? With everything that's been going on, we just got over fires, floods, droughts, and all of that, and right into the coronavirus. Has anybody felt like, is now the right time to talk to people? I don't want to come across too salesy. What should I say? Is anybody feeling like that at all? A few people. You know what? I hear that a lot. I know we all think that everybody needs what we've got. And the truth is they probably do. But, the beauty of right now is just about connecting with people and, not being aggressive or forceful or any of those things that people think network marketing is. Now's the time to be elegant and, to have great questions and to really listen to what's going on for people. Because as Poppy so beautifully shared with us at conference, you have to be ready. Whether ready for the product or ready for the business, people can talk to you about it till you're blue in the face. But if you're not ready, then, you can either offend people or it's going to go in one ear and out the other. So I am just going to share my screen, but tonight is all about having these beautiful conversations. And if there's anything that you want to ask as we go through, please feel free. And I'm not seeing the chat right now. So Liv or Jenny, I might ask you to take care of that for me if you would. Okay, so tonight is Conversations to Connect, and it's all about really getting real. Because the business you were in last month and the way you did things needs to be pivoted. And so that's what tonight's all about, is how do you pivot to have those beautiful connecting conversations with people? So How many of you right now know that network marketing is absolutely the right vehicle for right now? Because, you know, as other people are trying to learn to work from home, you already know how to do that. You're all set up. You've got everything you need to work from home. And how many of you know that Manatech is absolutely the right company right now? Yeah. Oops, sorry. I need to go back one. Oh, and I can't. Right company. So what's out of sync right now is the message. Now is a time to really pivot the message. We know that the business model is perfect, delivering to people's home. The product is perfect because it's a product that people need to have. It's not a luxury. It's a necessity to take care of people's health right now, right? And the fact that we can have this product delivered right to their door, they don't have to go out, they don't have to take a risk. So many people have health challenges, and to go out to a store, a grocery store, is scaring them. To a point where, I mean, they just get so anxious. So the business model is right, the company is right, the product is right. It's just that we need to pivot our message. And it's all about pivoting our thinking. It's about pivoting our language. It's about pivoting our approach, pivoting the action that we take. And as leaders in this amazing company, an amazing time, it's our privilege that we get to learn new ways to do things that are right for right now, and to do them so that we get ease with them and comfort and figure it out, and then to teach others how to do it. Because that's our role as leaders, isn't it? To learn, do, teach. And if you're John Maxwell fans at all, you know he always says you cannot teach what you do not know. And so this is the time to learn some new skills and to really get into the doing and to teach others. And so why do we need to pivot right now? Why do we need to have these conscious, compassionate conversations? And it's pretty simple, because the world has changed. We've got this big, big problem, and we're all in it together. And people are, some people are really afraid because everything's so uncertain right now. Nobody knows how long this is going to last. Nobody knows, we can look at what's happening in other countries. We can look at what's happening in other countries and hope that we can flatten things out quicker and slow things down quicker. But the thing is, the fact is, it's a really uncertain world right now. And if we can provide people with more certainty and to help them overcome their fear with some kind of hope, that's what people are really looking for right now. So it's going to take some new thinking. And these may be principles that you already practice. And if so, great, just become more conscious of them. We need to put people before profits. We need to serve before we sell. And the truth is, there's really a difference between offering a service and being willing to serve. They both include giving, but only one is really about generosity. And so we really need to be in that servant mindset. And remembering that all business, and especially the business that you're in, is about finding a need and filling it. if you're having conversations with people right now, just beautiful connecting conversations, and they don't have a need, then it's no problem. You don't have anything to do other than to be their friend and a great listener, and to be there when they need you if they don't have a problem. So this new approach is going to be so much about voice to voice, real talk, and caring connections. If there was ever a time to use technology to be as close to being in person as possible, this is the time. So, you know what? I'm all about new school network marketing. If you've ever heard me before, you know I love new school network marketing. However, this is a time for old-fashioned network marketing. Get on the phone. Don't hide behind social media and email right now. Social media is really about adding value right now. It's not about selling. It's not about scaring people into thinking that they need your product. Don't cold message people you don't know. Don't email or direct message and say things like, take a look at my product or my business opportunity. Without a conversation, that's a message that really is not going to land well for people. It's going to sound aggressive. They're going to think, you don't know me. You don't know what's happening in my world. Have meaningful conversations and really listen. And listening not to respond, as Stephen Covey would say, but listen to hear people's pain. Listen so that you can say, tell me more. How does that feel to you? And feel their energy and their responses. You can tell when someone is going through a really challenging time. And if all you can say is, I'm here for you, tell me how I can help. How can I help you right now? That is what you need to be to people. And just remember, community is one of the most valuable products that you sell right now. People want to be some part of something that's caring, and where people get them and are non-judgmental and have their back, and all of those things. So don't value what community means right now. And you're part of a beautiful, supportive, I've got your back kind of community. And we already said this, but don't use scare tactics. I've seen some people make posts about, oh my gosh, if you don't get on these products, the coronavirus is going to find you. And there's enough fear out there right now. That's not the way we want to be marketing and talking to people. So we have to learn a new language right now. And you know what? You may already be here. So if you are, good for you. But if any of this is landing in a way that makes you think about, ooh, I really should check myself, because it needs to be about less hype, less sales speak, more real talk. And, when I think about things, it's less about things like a 30-day fitness challenge or a 30-day weight loss challenge. And it's more about, did you know that organic broccoli is over $18 a kilo right now? And, when you think about what you offer to people in your new product that was launched at conference, your superfoods, think about, the fact that, the pricing is right for the times. It's convenient. They don't have to go to the store. If they have some health challenges, they can be safe at home. All of those things that you offer. So it's just tweaking your language, pivoting it to realize that nobody right now probably wants to be part of a 30-day anything because they don't know when all of this is going to be over. And so it's making your messaging relevant for the times. Does that make sense? Show me a raise of hands if that makes sense to you. Okay, great. Thank you. So more about stories. You already know that stories are the most effective thing that you have. More so than a video, more so than all of these, tools. Stories are so valuable right now. And learning to ask great questions. So you can make yourself a list. When you get off the call tonight, I dare you to make a list, and until you can't write any more, of great questions that you can ask people to engage them in conversation. So you can really, whatever common ground you have with that person, you can just create more, and that you can really find out what's going on in their life. And if they need you to be just a friend, or do they need you to be someone that can help them with their health or their financial concerns? And, as we said, really listen. Use the power of your voice right now, and use a voice SMS. You all know how to do that, I'm sure. Use voice messenger. And there's a great audio text message function that you can use. And so just think about how much more personal it is to hear you talk than it is to read your words. When people hear you, they hear your intonation, they hear your concern, they hear, your passion. And when they read it, they don't, they're going to put their own, intonation and meaning on what you said. So now is the time to really use your voice as well. It calls for new actions. You can't meet people for coffee in a coffee shop anymore. You can't do some of the things maybe you've always done in the past, but there's lots of things you can do. Online events and meetings, and I'm going to show you some examples of those. Some of you that are creative, I know that are already doing it. If you're anything like me, a few ideas gets your own juices going. Great time for handwritten notes. The post office is still open, so it's a great time to send good customers or people you've lost touch with a really sincere handwritten note. Great time for samples. It's not the time for one size fits all messages and solutions for people. It's a time to personalize. Not a great time for cut and paste media. If you see something you like, you copy it, because that doesn't have any of you in it, any of your unique magic. Social media right now is all about adding value, and not about selling. If you want to give recipes, if you want to talk about how broccoli can strengthen the immune system, if you want to add value in that way, then that's the way to do it. And never send a tool without a conversation to see how people are, see where they're at, and to say, I might have something that could help you with that. Would you be okay if I sent you a video or an article or whatever you're sending? But don't just send it to people because you heard they lost their job, or you're thinking that, oh my gosh, everybody needs to strengthen their immune system, so I am just going to spam this article out to everyone. How do you think that makes people feel when there's nothing personal about that right now in this world, when people are so cut off from everything that they know and love? They can't even visit relatives. They can't do so many of the things that just add so much joy to their life. So you don't want to be that spammer, that person that's just, not being compassionate. And I want to say that with all these new ways to communicate and stay in touch with people online, we still have to remember compliance. That we have to think about endorsements, not testimonials, and only use the claims on the packaging. You never know who's going to be on something that you're doing online. You never know who's going to take a screenshot and share it. You never know. And so now more than ever before, use endorsements, not testimonials, use the claims on the packaging. And, another really great measure is to use the disclaimers that are in the library. There's disclaimers for income, there's disclaimers for product. And, it's always a great way to protect yourself on a Zoom call. If somebody says something and it's out of compliance, you need to correct it. But if you've shown a disclaimer at the beginning and you use it again at the end, that really protects you, everybody else in Manatech, and the company. So if you're wondering about who you could be or should be having conversations with, it's your current customers, of course, but past customers as well. When people really get how much you care, you can bring back past customers when they, you're just going to rekindle that relationship. But when you really reach out because you care and you're asking questions and listening, those people might realize how much better they felt on the product, or when they were part of the Manatech community, how great that was. So you also want to have conversations. And when I say conversations, I mean live conversations is the best way. New leads and prospects, also current product sharers. And I call them product sharers because they might not consider themselves business builders, but they love the product so much they've had great results and they've shared with a few people. Past product sharers, current business builders, people who are on your team that are really, wanting to build a business, really need the income, that business can provide, and are really looking to sharpen their skills, learn some new ones, and really make this a big business. Past business builders are great to reach out to as too. I know that a lot of people that I work with, past customers and past builders, in the last 10 days, they've welcomed a lot of those people back. And of course, friends and acquaintances that you realize that circumstances have changed for them. Maybe they were never that interested in health or never needed extra money, but things have changed for people in the last couple of weeks. And then, of course, if you are, using social media as a way to prospect, then you'll have some people to follow up from there. So let's talk about good questions. And when this part of the presentation is finished, I hope we can have a great discussion around what questions are good, which you feel comfortable with, because I'm all about finding a way for you to build your business that feels good for you and lands well for others. So these are just things that I've thought of, but you guys, I know, are the experts and have questions that you're using right now that are getting great responses. So I call them check-in and check-up questions. How are you? How are you really going? Is everything okay? What has the coronavirus changed for you? What has been impacted in your life? Talk, if they're parents, about with the kids at home, how is the homeschooling going? Right now, if they're on vacation, is it challenging to keep them busy? How do you keep them focused? Are you still working? If there are people that had a job, are you still working? And because that will give you a clue as to what's changed for them. Maybe they've been, stood down. Maybe they've been made redundant. if they work somewhere that's closed their doors, cafes or hair salons. So it allows you to find out. And if they say still working, yes, are you working from home? Is your partner from home too? What's that like? Because, we know that when you never worked from home before, it's challenging. We know that if you've got two people at home that have never worked at home, it's a little bit crazy. What do you need right now? Tell me more. What's one thing that I could do to help you? And then if there's an opening, depending on what they say about one thing that I could help you with right now, you may lead into some more questions, or it may be a second conversation. If the person is quite distraught, it might not be the conversation to go to the solution. It might just be the conversation to let them cry and get it all out. And then the next day to send them a voice message that says, I couldn't get you off my mind. Our conversation just left me thinking that, I really wanted to help you and I might have something. Would you be open to a discussion? And so again, just remember, we can't go to that sales step too fast until people are ready. And so some of the questions that, I often use is on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is I feel really vulnerable at risk, and 10 is I feel amazing, I'm energetic, I'm focused, I'm sleeping well. How would you rate your overall health? And then the same for their financial situation on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is I don't know how I'm going to feed my family, and 10 is I'm in good shape and I can afford to help others. How would you rate your financial situation? And so it's just having questions so you can find out where people are at when and if they give you that little opening. Is this making sense so far? Okay, great. Let's keep going and then we can get to questions. So here's a part that I'm finding, when things are challenging the way they are right now, isn't it amazing the creativity that comes out? And I'm so enjoying seeing what people are doing. I have a friend who's an organic farmer, and she did a lot of her sales through the markets. And when she got to the markets, not last weekend, but the weekend before, and found out they were closed, she'd been resisting selling online for a long time, her organic produce. And it forced her to do that. And then when she started investigating with couriers and things, who she could collaborate with, how much it was going to cost, she had this story in her head that nobody would pay $25 for delivery, but it turns out people will pay for things. So, her business has really gone through the roof. And, so there's lots of silver linings in all of this. And when you think about all the things you can do online, you can do new member associate training. You can do opportunity meetings. And I know you're not going to call them that. I'll show you some examples in just a few minutes. But for both product and business, with your team, you can do team huddles. Simon Sinek talks about this all the time, and his team has always worked remote. And he does these team huddles. Some people are doing them daily for 5 or 10 minutes every morning. Some people are doing them weekly, but they're really, they're not so much project-based. They're all about just checking in with people, seeing what they need. You can do training online and do it more like a workshop, so that you do the training and then you do something that helps your team members put that training in action. So you may say something like, okay, I want you all to send 5 messages and get some calls booked for today. And we're all going to come back on in 15 minutes and check in with each other. So they'll talk about what the message can say and how they can do it. So things to activate the training. And then I'm seeing so much cleverness around doing helpful information presentations. We talked about really adding value in this time. So I've seen one person that calls it Lockdown Online, and she's doing daily presentations on all kinds of topics like handling stress, exercising at home, meditation, journaling, creative writing, art, music, dance for kids, leadership during crisis, self-care, homeschool master classes, all kinds of things. There's also watch parties, so that you can watch videos and learn together. And just again, I'm just going to say, remember, through anything you do online, endorsements, not testimonials. So here's an example of something that you can do for customers. This is the Lockdown Online, and having a menu and agenda of offerings that people can see which ones interest them and tune into them on the day. And they're all done on Zoom. You have to contact the person who posted this or sent this out to get the Zoom link. Then, Nourished Online Masterclass, posted as a Facebook event. And so you can see what that person's talking about. And then this one for customers. So there's just so much you can do to make it fun, make it informative, and to really add value. And what you're doing without saying it is positioning yourself as that go-to person. You're positioning yourself as somewhat of a subject matter expert, or you're linking arms with other subject matter experts. And people are going to get to know, like, and trust you if they don't already. But when they have a need, think of you, and if they have one right now, you're going to be the first person that they call. And equally as popular out there right now are online business events. Notice this one: create an online income in any economic climate. So you're not just talking about right now, you're really saying, what this works anytime. This is, this stands the test of time. And it just says, hear from everyday people and what they have done to build an online income stream from home around kids, study, family, and how you can do it too. So then there's this one that says, you need to look at options right now. Our goal is to help you out. And when you can see, the bullets down the side, this is obviously appealing to a little bit younger audience and speaking to them in language that they would use. So we're at that Q&A part that I promised you. I know I've gone fast, and I've really given you so much to absorb. I just want to get out of here. There, now I can see everybody, and I see there's tons of questions. And I didn't see the questions as I was sharing the screen. So if you want to, ask any questions, feel free to raise your hand, and either myself or Jenny or Olivia will say go for it. And if not, maybe I'll just ask one, and then we'll just get things started. So
I start for you. Oh, sorry, Sandy.
No, you go if you're ready.
I've just been monitoring the questions, and first off, kudos to you, because everyone's enjoying your training. and that's value add. But
Is
there's,
it landing well? Is it what you needed to hear tonight?
I believe so, by the
Beautiful.
I'm seeing.
Thank you.
There
Great
is a
comments.
great one from John and Anna. How do we avoid people thinking we are trying to take advantage of them rather than give some people some hope for their health and their income? People look at us as trying to get into their wallet at the best of times.
Oh, John and Anna, I love this question.
Mm.
And I think the first thing is to get your intention right.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're phoning to try to sell someone or to recruit them, that's your intention, and people are going to hear it and feel it.
Mm-hmm.
If your intention is really to serve and to really know what's going on for them,
mm-hmm.
they're going to feel that too. And so I think, you know me, I have this thing about the reputation of the industry and cleaning it up, because I think this is just the most amazing vehicle for people. And I believe that we sell the best products, but there are people that, feel like the products are second grade and that we're just trying to get people and sell them things they don't need. But it all starts with your intention as you go into it. So if you go, wow, I really am phoning to recruit or sell to them, then you need to clean that up before you even get on the phone. And just know where your heart's at. And go into the conversation and don't be attached to the outcome. If it's just a wonderful conversation and the most juicy connection with someone that you haven't talked to in a while or never talked to on that level, that's a win to me.
Absolutely, Sandy. And can I revert back to something you did say that really resonates with me, and it's appropriate here? People don't care what you know until they know that you care. And I must admit, that's been a thread through my career, and I think that's part of our industry too. So if they really believe the call is being undertaken because you care about them, then they'll want to be interested in what you have to say. So you mentioned it resonated with me. And the other thing that you mentioned too, again, it's almost like reverting back, isn't it, to handwritten cards and notes. They are special. It's so easy to jump on and do an email and SMS, but time taken maybe just to write a few cards every day. There's nothing more special and a connection than seeing someone's handwriting, that you actually get a card from them. They've taken the time to write it. How do you feel when you get a birthday card that's handwritten, for example? And this, to me, is validating what you said about that connection process. The first, reach out and write a card, and then say, I'd love to connect with you on a call, next week or next month, or reach out to me. It's just how we handshake and how we connect. And you've done an awesome job tonight, Sandy. Well done.
Well, you know what? I have a real passion around, people wanting to upskill and find a way. And I call it elegant, but it's about finding a way that feels good for you. You know when you've said something to someone and it hasn't landed well. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that comes from our intention because we're going into it wanting to sell or recruit. It also happens because we have this belief that everybody needs what we have. And, I want to come back to this because I don't share that belief. I don't think that everybody knows that they need, supplements and a health product. Mm-hmm. People may need some education around it. But again, back to Poppy, remember when she said, and I mean, this is the emotion of the whole situation that is so important to understand. She knew she was fat. Nobody had to tell her. But when they told her, it was like, do you think I'm stupid? Do you think I don't know? She wasn't ready up here yet to go on a weight loss journey. She wasn't ready for the health journey either when that was first. She had to hurt enough and know enough that she was ready to say yes. She had to have the doctor say to her, if you don't do something, you won't be here a year from now. You better go home and get your family life in order.
Yeah, and Poppy's on this call as well, and I'm sure she can validate that.
Oh, and I can't see her, but Poppy, I'm sorry that I'm talking for you, but your story was just
absolutely
such a great example of how we need to ask questions and listen. Mm-hmm. I've always been taught that people have a vent list and a ready list. Some people just want to vent. You know, people that have been talking for 10 years about losing weight or getting healthy or going to the gym or whatever they're going to do. And until they're ready, they don't get off the vent list or the, whinge list to do something about it. So if you could just make that little pivot in your mind that not everybody needs what you have. And you can add to the end of that, not yet, if you want. But just make that adjustment, because when you believe they do, you come across aggressive, not caring, not listening. It's like if you knew somebody lost their job, say you are talking to a friend tomorrow and you find out a mutual person you have in common lost their job last week. Without talking to that person, if you just sent them a message and said, hey, I heard you lost your job. Would you take a look at what I do? I think it would be good for you. How do you think that would land on that person? They may need income, but they haven't grieved yet. They don't know what else is out there. Like, they don't even know you from a rock. So you need to connect with people, and you don't want to turn people off, because here's my, if you've heard me before, I talk about long game, short game. This is a time to play the long game.
Yes.
We don't know how long this is going to last, but how many of you still want to be in business at the end of this? How many of you want to still have a business at the end of this? That is going to come from how you treat people right now. It's going to come from how you show up as a human being right now. And I'm not saying stop marketing. I'm not saying stop posting, stop doing things, but make it about adding value. When people know what you do, when they're ready, you'll be the first person they come to, especially when you've been nothing but kind and compassionate to them and understanding what's going on for them. And, we have to take away some of the judgment that somebody's situation is harder than someone else's. Because you know that if you think you're going through a hard time right now, to you, that's your reality. And it doesn't matter that somebody else over here is going through a way worse time. When we're being compassionate, we're just understanding that for them, it's hard. And if we can just listen, that's what they need. It's not like, oh, if you think your life is bad, this person over here, what's that going to do? That's going to close them up. And what you really want to do in all of this with these compassionate conversations is open people up. And so just understand that people's pain is real to them. Right? And this is a grieving process for a lot of people.
Yes.
Their life as they know it has been taken away. Their job may be taken away. So people need to grieve. Just because they lost their job last week, they're not maybe on Monday going, okay, I need income. I'm going to look at everything that's out there. They might still be grieving. They haven't even understood the ramifications of what's happened for them. These are really unsettled, uncertain times. And if you can just be that beautiful friend that gives them hope and says, I'm always here for you. If you need someone to talk to, I'm here for you.
Mm.
Okay, you got other questions there, Jenny?
We probably, we did run over time because we started late.
I know.
I think we've probably answered most of the questions that have been relevant. Quite a few of the comments are kudos to you, Sandy, for great knowledge, great presentation.
Jenny, could we do this? If there's questions that people have that I didn't get to, if you collect them,
yes,
and then I'll respond to them all so that everybody gets the answers, because I'm pretty certain if one person has a question, a lot of people would have that same question. And I feel bad that, you know, we can't give you the time that we talked about on this call.
I agree. And there are a couple maybe, but we can certainly do that. I was thinking to post all the questions and answers up with the video call so that those who couldn't get on the call, Sandy, had the benefit of frequently asked questions, FAQs.
Of course.
Presentation.
I haven't gone. I was just going to try to wrap us up here, you know,
well,
just quickly.
Yeah.
And I mean, remember, it's all about pivoting your thinking, your actions, your language, your approach. And remember, as you go through this and you learn new things and you try things that work for you, that's what you want to share with your team members. That's the learn, do, teach part of what we've talked about tonight. And, you know, really, it's just so much about, you know, just being there for people. What can you do? I think we've given a few examples tonight of how you can add value, what you can do online, anything that you can do that's as close to being, you know, one-on-one with people in person. That's what you want to be doing right now. And if you're trying things for the first time, if you've never done a live, if you've never done a Zoom, gosh, look at the challenges we had tonight and we got through it. So give yourself grace. You're learning new things. And you know what? It takes courage right now to learn new things. And I get that. And I'm your biggest fan. So give it a go. What would we say to our kids right now if they were learning something new, or our grandkids? We'd say practice, practice, practice. And not practice makes perfect, because we're never looking for perfection, but practice till you build that confidence. Remember, confidence doesn't come from reading or listening. Confidence comes from doing. You can't omit that step. So just try this stuff. And I would be so interested to hear how things go for you. And, you know, it's not business as usual right now. We don't even know what it's going to look like. So everything you learn is going to be valuable to you long term, because we're all here for the long game. Absolutely. You know, you've got the right vehicle. It's gassed up, ready to go. It's what people are looking for, that home delivery, good nutrition, things to support, products to support their immune system, all of those things, income that they can, you know, earn as little or as much as they want. So you've got the right vehicle and it's gassed up, ready to go.
Okay.
You need to learn a few new skills, and you've got it as well. So
thank you,
good luck to everybody.
Thank you. And thank you for taking our first training call tonight. You know, we need to develop an attitude of gratitude. With Manatech, we've got a great product portfolio. A therapeutic portfolio at this point in time is Gold Dust. And we also have that other best product, when the time is right, a great compensation plan. So 2 great tools, 2 great assets that some other companies would be so thankful for.
And that other beautiful community that all of you are a part of. So
absolutely. So, you know, attitude of gratitude, and we will drive through this. And I'm going to say, you know, it's been great to have you on. We've had a good turn up. And next call in 2 weeks' time, the plan is to have Sarah Wardrop, our Director of Marketing, on the call, actually showing what she's been doing behind the scenes to redefine our library, make sure we've got the training in place, the tools in place, and where to go to find the tools that you need to drive your business. So thank you, Sandy. Look forward to the next call in 2 weeks. And In the meantime, stay safe, keep well, and to all our Manatechers, yeah, lots of love. Take care.
Yeah.